It's Keaton here with another video. Today we'll be doing like a not interesting video, but like something that we all struggle in art, and I want to give advice how to solve this problem. And I'm gonna ask you a question: have you ever struggled in drawing a character, and then they look similar if when you draw multiple characters, and you look at their face, and it looks similar, and 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 if your problem is having the same face syndrome, well, this is a video that might help you, change that. So just what I want to do today, how to avoid that similarity to the face to your characters or whoever you're drawing. Um, I'll show you three or four examples of three different faces. So it's not that hard to change. It's definitely I've been through that phase of like, oh, it looks similar. That face. It's really all about um like shapes and like and I guess like what call characteristics of the character. So I guess shape and characteristics are the two main things that I'm really focusing that can really make each character unique and just like and it doesn't look the same and boring every time you draw a character, right? So, and sometimes adding color could change too, right? So yeah. So you're gonna grab a pencil, you're gonna draw a face, like you did, but not any face. You want to change so there's size. There's different sizes of face. There's really wide face, rounded, or tall. So I'm gonna do my generic, art style face, and then I'll do. So I'm just drawing. So I'm just gonna draw a face here, like it's more like a for a normal face here. And if you're doing this, just do it loosely, like loose. And don't worry about being, this needs to be in this angle. Don't worry about it. You're gonna refine it maybe later. Just practice getting the hang of like using, like, because you want to be free and you don't want to restrict yourself, right? That's why I feel like every artist, like, that's why they have the same face syndrome kind of thing. So they are kind of restricted, feel restricted, but just no, go with the flow and do what you feel like and exaggerate. That's the main thing, exaggerating the face and facial features, stuff like that, or stylize it, right? So yeah. So I'm just drawing, because these two, I want to show you the difference. So yeah, so I'm just having, drawing normal. So you guys keep in mind that when you think about characteristics, exaggerating shapes, and I guess shapes, I think those are kind of the same thing, and facial features. That's all you guys to think about that for a second and be like, okay, what is he talking about? And I just want you guys to figure out And you can always draw with me. So if you're watching a video, you can draw and figure out, okay, what does he mean by that before I show you guys, right? So I'm not gonna cover this whole hair, but I'm just adding a little bit of shading. Just like a scribbly, give that. That's why you got. That's another thing to the lines, like different thickness of lines, right? Like they be thick, too, or like people always use like that one, like same size, same like like line thickness. So that's another thing that I want to point out if it's not that. But yeah, that's another thing to make your characters more interesting too. There's another big part in that. But yeah, line thickness. So like I'm doing this a little bit more thicker, so I think it will look cool on him and getting more characteristic. Just doing a little quick shading. There. So I'll be doing. This always happens. If you're an artist, you know you can't put it back. You try to put it back from the top. Some artists will just try to do this. Usually I just kind of throw it aside because it's kind of painful putting it back. But yeah. Okay. I just like to keep it messy because that's my style. That's what it looks like. You erase the lines. Erase your guidelines. There. Okay. For the second one, so I want to see what things could I do differently from the face I drew to make it into, I guess, a new different disguise. Think it as you're creating a disguise for this character. That's, I think, the best way to put it in that way. Put it in the way. So I want a longer face. I will change a longer face. So I'm gonna create a face a little bit longer. Exaggerate. That's what I'm talking about. Don't be afraid to exaggerate. Since I want it to be look like, because I'm getting the vibe from the hair, like professor look. So maybe a tall neck, not too tall. I don't want it. I want to be still connected. And then, so yeah, so it's basically almost like see, I'm breaking these into shapes. So I'm thinking about, okay, your eyes. So this is the thing. What I mean by facial expression. Facial features. Do I want the nose big, small, medium? Same for the lips, eyes, maybe eyebrows, maybe a design. I mean, different design. or different hair. But yeah, so I can have different type of eyes too. I can make them a little bit tangier if I wanted to. Because if you look at the Spider-Verse or any other anime movie, they stylize. So if you have a specific stylization or an idea, this is why you draw your eyes at the same time. So I do not do that. So always draw your eyes at the same time. There. So I'm just gonna make them rectangular, kind of. I'm gonna map out where the hair is supposed to go. I'm gonna have that same hairstyle, so I can show you guys how these look different, but they have the same hairstyle. I'm not gonna change it. I'm just gonna change, the facial features, stuff like that. It's gonna have more thicker eyebrows, or longer. Actually, I'm gonna do a little bit longer since it's a long face. Maybe thick. So sometimes it's like testing out if this works or not. So, like I did, a little bit thicker, better. And another thing that I like to do, so I'm just gonna draw the nose. It's a little bit blocky, because since I did this a little bit more pointy, so I'm gonna make this a little bit blocky. The nose there, the edge. And then for the lips, I'm going to do the same, because usually the lips do not change unless you want to. It's your preference, really. It's like, this is one, like, it's like customizing, and I'm making the lips a little bit bigger. And yeah. Do the same hairstyle. Just bring the shapes. See, I'm using very confident lines here, just in the hair. So, yeah. So I'm just taking my time and just like, figuring out what things should go. And just figuring out, okay. Checking, because if you're doing this and you want to improve, I would recommend, dividing like I did and see if you see any difference. And you can see the difference clearly between these two characters, that they look different, which is a good sign. That means you are getting your comfort zone and creating similar characters, not similar, but like unique characters that don't have that same face shape or facial features, or both. Right? So I'm just gonna carve this in. So, and same thing for thickness, line thickness too. I'm gonna keep this a little bit thin. So when I think of tall or tall people or in characters, I think their lines a little bit more thin, I guess. But that's, I'll go. That's my brain was telling me. But yeah. Yeah. Yeah, a little bit nicer. So see the difference. There you can have more, I guess more. No, I mean, like, this one looks like, it's a generic character. This looks like a tough character. Right. For the last one, I am going to do a more rounded face and stuff like that. So, and see how I'm like in the second one. If you haven't caught it yet, go know how I'll kind of break it down into like simple shapes, and that's what I was talking about. So like it's like okay, and it's also about measuring too. Like you don't have to grab a ruler and measure, but you can just tell your eyes, okay, since I want this more rounded, it's gonna look a little bit funny. I'm gonna have a different facial expression, so I can probably have a big ears. Big, probably more bigger ears, more a little bit more bigger neck for more rounded, like more there. So see how I'm just keeping loose because I'm not worried about anything, because I'm just focusing on, like, okay, what I'm gonna do, what characteristics could I add to him, I mean, getting that thought process in. So it's gonna have more rounded eyes. And you can always switch these up. You don't have to be like, oh, the specific thing has to go along, like a long nose, long face. You can mix it up, like round nose, tall face, or long face. And you can always mix up. It's like a potato. Forgot like potato man where you can swap. Like the arms, nose. It's almost like this. So keep practicing. But yeah. I feel like my eyebrows has been almost the same. So I go, oh, I want to make this a little bit more. Yeah. There you go. It's kind of hard with me drawing behind a tripod. Kind of struggling. But yeah. If you're planning to do like a YouTube channel, no, this is off track, but if you're ever gonna make a video or make a video for yourself time lapse drawing, I would recommend getting one of those like clamp things on your desk and then put your phone. Kind of wait. If you look at Amazon, they have those, but a tripod is okay. Just for beginners, but like me. But yeah, that's why I'm like trying to look down here. So, oh, that's the face. Yes, the face does look different. There you go. There. That's the best I can do. So I'm gonna have a more rounded nose here. I can always have switch hairstyles too, but keep in mind you don't have to if you're doing this challenge and you're really proud of it, you don't have to have the same hairstyle. Then you can switch it up if you're wanting to do this. But it's like it's just really changing variables. Like I don't know, I'm trying to get almost like I'm talking science like DNA. I don't know. You want to hear that on a summer break or anything, but I'm just referencing almost like DNA where you're taking genes and then if you know science, I'm not gonna explain it, but genes like different characteristics, of course, like I said. But yeah, I know like um that drawing faces from different perspectives and having getting this applied to that is harder. I know that. I've still kind of working on that kind of, because once you flip the face, it's like, okay, the anatomy, right? That's why you study a little bit of anatomy. You don't have to study. If you if you don't mind studying anatomy, go ahead. But if you don't want to draw all these muscles, you can always draw in simplified ways, right? So yeah. So, see, it looks different. It looks different already. You can already tell. But yeah, it's all about, like I said, it's not that hard. You just gotta get out of your comfort zone and just don't be afraid of restricting yourself lines. Be loose and just go for it. It's a leap of faith. A little bit of reference to the Spider-Verse. It's a leap of faith. Because you're an artist, right? You're an artist. You're free. There's no such thing as mistakes. You have multiple papers. If you don't like like if you don't do mistakes or anything, you're not like I'm saying. If you avoid mistakes, you're not gonna learn. So that's what I'm saying. Like mistakes teaches you to be better next time. Right. Same thing for me, like photography. When I started, for example, when I started photography, I didn't know I do have the idea of composition. That was my strongest point because I was drawing characters and thumbnails, so I kind of have a vision. But the hardest part was, the settings, of course, right? That's like the thing I was trying to say here. Like, be loose. Like, before, if you want to do this, I want you to draw shapes. I want you to just loosely draw like random shapes, 3D or 2D. I'm just like loosely draw an eye, and I would recommend that before doing this. But yeah, something if you're confident, go ahead and divide in 3. Draw your original face that you draw, and then do. Looks like it's a success here. Alright, there you go. There you go. That's the last face. More rounded. More, straighter. More angle lines. More a little bit smooth. And there's my original. Yeah. And this could also, like I said, if you do these things I said to you, like different size of shapes or different variables of long neck or rounded face, you might come up with a new art style. So right, these look different, right? Different line quality. Like I use different, a little bit darker. It's a little bit messy. But I'm pretty proud of all of these. I'm pretty confident, like everywhere I said. Pretty confident. First ones, because the thing about, there's another thing I want to add before I end this video, is that when I drew the first one, I'm confident this face shape, you should always, you're always gonna have a comfort zone. You're gonna have outside of your comfort zone. These were not really my comfort zone because I was comfortable doing different face shapes, face structures and stuff. But yeah, be loose. Don't be afraid. If you're afraid, use a pen. A little bit of quietness. But yeah, do whatever you want. I'm just kidding with that if you are afraid, but But if you do it with a pen, I'll be impressed. And it doesn't matter if it looks bad. All I know, if you do it with a pen, you'll make more mistakes, improve, and hopefully take your time if you're using a pen, of course. But and plan your lines. It's also a great tool. A pen, even though it's only for inking, but it's also good for practicing. Keep that in mind. But yeah, hope you guys enjoy, and hope you guys took some advice that I said and applied it to your new style or new characters. More interesting, hopefully. But yeah, hope you guys have a good day, and I'll see you next time.